Welcome everyone to Lawrence, Kansas, where the meteoric, mercurial rise of that guy on your screen, Caleb Williams, continues in earnest. One of the most compelling stories in all of football right now. Here was the scene last week prior to the game against TCU. The suspense-filled moments when it was finally announced who the starting quarterback was. Williams got the assignment. QB1 official. Usurping Spencer Rattler. And man, did he ever rock out on the field. One of his best games since he's been playing football. 18 of 23. 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. And taking the reins of this Oklahoma offense. The next chapter written here this afternoon. This is ESPN's College Football presented by Marathon. Folks, you're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. The Oklahoma Sooners, the number 3 team in the country, trying to make it 17 consecutive wins against the Kansas Jayhawks. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, chopping it up with Robert Griffin III down in the field. Quint Kesnick will be covering it for us. He'll be joining us in just a few moments. Robert, Caleb Williams, a compelling story right now. What does his impact mean for the rest of the Oklahoma Sooner offense?
Well, I can tell you right now, he's like a stimulus check to the offense, right? He's giving them a spark. And what he does is he opens things up for everybody else. Kennedy Brooks, Eric Gray at the running back position, they get less eyes on them because of his dynamic running ability. The offensive line gets help because he can make things happen even when they make a mistake. And the wide receivers are benefiting from the fact that he is out there letting that dog hunt, throwing it with reckless abandon, and they are making plays for him. It's incredible to watch, and I know they want to keep that going here today against Kansas.
Well, Kansas won the toss. They will receive, deferring to the second half. Oklahoma coming into the ball game off a very convincing win last week against TCU. The Jayhawks, meanwhile, losing last week against Texas Tech. They won their opener against South Dakota, but have since been on a losing streak. They're efforting to snap here this afternoon. Kansas receiving here. And out of the end zone, it's Logan. And he's going to be brought down right around the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from then. Quint, what's good?
Big hit to start things. A lot of crimson in the house as well. If you're Lincoln Riley, head coach of Oklahoma, you're looking for 2 things right now from this defense. The defensive line has to have a greater impact on this game than they've had the last 2 weeks. And then tackling. As simple as it sounds, Oklahoma, this Sooner team, to win the Big 12, you got to beat Iowa State, you got to beat Baylor, you got to beat Okie State. Their tackling has not been up to par.
A lot of eyes going to be on that defense for the Sooners today. Especially the secondary. Kansas going to run it on 1st down. Devin Neal with about a yard on the play. Stutzman making the stop. Tackling, Robert, an issue for the Sooners.
Yes, and trust me, B. John Robinson right there breaking all these tackles. There's not many backs like him in the country. But Oklahoma has to learn how to tackle and take advantage of a team like Kansas who, honestly, today is going to have to play their best ball all year to get a win.
Quarterback Jason Bean, the transfer from North Texas. Starting quarterback, 6'3" junior, completing 55% of his passes. You'll see them run the play clock down, be very methodical. They'll run it again. Devin Neal, little or no gain on the play. Deshaun White making the stop. Lance Leipold, the first-year head coach, trying to flip the culture here at Kansas. They practiced hard this week. There's a good vibe on the sidelines, he says, and they practiced well. But a daunting task ahead for the Jayhawks. 3rd down and 8 coming up. Mason Fairchild sets. Bean passing complete for the 1st down. Forward progress going to be beyond that marker. Kwame Lassiter making the catch. His 22nd of the season, working against Billy Bowman. Lincoln Riley in his 5th season for Oklahoma. The Sooners looking for their first 8-0 start since 2000 8-4, and despite the fact that, Robert, they're 7-0, you'd never be able to tell when you listen to the coaching staff, right?
No, not from the meetings that we had this week. They're very upset. They have a standard that they want to live up to, and they don't feel like they have done that on either side of the ball consistently enough. So these Oklahoma Sooners could be pretty angry, and they're looking to take it out on these Kansas Jayhawks.
Jayhawks move the sticks. A little reverse here. Toss. It's McBride with a nice gain of about 7, maybe 8. Jaden Davis making the tackle for the Sooners. Jason Bean with a nice little bit of handiwork here. Selling the fakes.
Yeah.
Hands it off. 5 touchdown passes on the season against 4 interceptions.
Yeah, Jason Bean's been in a little bit of a pressure cooker over the past couple weeks. He started the season off pretty well, but he only had 86 passing yards last week. So that 3rd down conversion that they had just a couple plays ago was big for his development and his confidence.
He's taken a little bit of a step backwards the last couple of weeks. He's going to run it himself here. Gets the 1st down and hauled down by his jersey by Asamoah. 5-yard gain. Quinn?
Great start for Kansas. You know, this game's all about little victories for this Jayhawk program, whether it's a 3rd down conversion, an extended possession, winning a quarter. They're not going to judge themselves ultimately maybe by the final score, but they're going to judge themselves by the little victories that they can pick up along the way.
That's going to be a penalty up front. You know, the Jayhawks are quick to tell everyone willing to listen that wins haven't caught up with the culture that they are rebuilding here.
Offside, number 90. Defense jumped into the neutral zone, causing the offense player to react. 5-yard penalty. That's 1st down.
That's against Josh Ellison for the Sooners.
As we were talking about, the wins, right? The wins haven't and the results haven't caught up to the culture. They don't believe they have a losing culture. And I can tell you right now, when you're trying to build a program, it takes time and patience. You have to teach a program how to win. And I went through that at Baylor. And hopefully we can see them continue to make those strides today as they face a daunting task against the Sooners.
1st down and 5. They hand it off again. Little reverse action. Trevor Wilson, one of the more potent and dangerous players offensively. Key Lawrence making the stop on the play. Speaking of keys, Robert?
Yes, we talked about it. Shorten the game. Kansas needs to do that. They're going to run the clock down, try to keep Oklahoma off the field. No arrested development. Caleb Williams, you got to continue to develop and show that you're the guy, and then tackling for both teams is going to be paramount today.
2nd and 3 and another penalty up front. By the way, I like that arrested development.
Hey, man. I knew you was going to pick up on that one.
One of my favorites. Isaiah Thomas and Winfrey moving.
Offside, number 95. Defense, 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Isaiah Thomas moving up front. Leads the team in sacks. A little overzealous that time.
He got him twice right there.
Sure did.
Look, he got him on the first one. Don't go. Bow. Got him again. Great use of the snap count there by Jason Bean.
After the penalty,
Robert, you talked about shortening the game. What does it look like on the field?
Yes, when you talk about shortening the game, it's not just running the clock down. It's also about putting drives together. That 3rd down conversion earlier, the 1st down they just got. When you do that, you keep Oklahoma's dynamic offense off the field.
Time out on the field. Everything is off.
Oh, boy. We got a power hit.
Oh, no. Is this a Super Bowl?
Cue. Someone paying their light bills or not down there? Wow.
Oh, it seems like Quint's out, too.
Yeah, is Quint knocked out?
The back judge blew the whistle. The video board is out. The scoreboard is out. And we got a little momentary stoppage.
Yeah, you sure do.
I got to tell you one thing. You know, this Oklahoma team, 11 a.m. kickoff, road trip, gray, cold morning. Not the easiest thing for them to get up for after 2 really emotion-packed weeks. You come out here on the road, and there's a little bit of vulnerability. There's a little bit of malaise, Jonesy, on this Sooner sideline.
I like that. Would be easy for complacency to set in. But as you look at Spencer Rattler and head coach Lincoln Riley, of course, a lot has been talked about the quarterback situation at Oklahoma. And they have to hope that maybe that hasn't taken away from a little bit of the focus on this game. This is the quintessential trap game a little bit, right?
It is a trap game, and Oklahoma hasn't had a bye week yet. So these guys aren't just coming off of 2 emotional games like our main man Quint talked about. They also haven't had an opportunity to really rest and rejuvenate themselves.
Right. Looks like the official's going to be keeping time down on the field. Kansas looking at 1st down and 10 from the Oklahoma 45 as we resume play. Devin Neal in at tailback.
Hey, man, you can't let a few lights get in the way of a good game, right?
Bean keeps it with an RPO and crosses the 40, brought down at about the 39 by Agwebu. 2nd down and about 4 to go. It's Oklahoma defense with just 3 interceptions all season. 2nd and 4.
You just saw in that last play Jason Bean using his legs. We talked to the coaches this week, and they said, hey, we want to get him out on the perimeter more so he can utilize his full skill set. And I think they did that right there. Let's see if they continue to do that moving forward.
Hand it off again to Devin Neal. It's going to set up a 3rd down at about 2 to go. Agwebu again making the tackle. What's it like playing without a play clock, Robert, as quarterback? And you can't look over there and see how much time is exactly left.
Well, I wonder how good of a relationship he has with the head ref there, because, you know, maybe if the clock's running a little low, he can just, hey, man, give me 5 more seconds. I'm trying to run the clock down a little bit more. But it does affect you a little bit. But at the end of the day, somebody on the sideline is probably keeping the time for the quarterback so he knows how much time he has to make the calls and make the adjustments that they have to do.
Because that's a big part of their strategy today, right?
Without a doubt.
3rd down and 1. Lassiter in motion. They're going to run it and pick up the 1st down. Across the 35 down to the 33, the local product, Devin Neal, the team's leading rusher coming into the ball game this afternoon. The guy that coaches say is very coachable, very willing to learn, a charismatic, magnetic type of personality inside that locker room.
Not only that, Devin Neal is a 2-sport athlete, right? He plays outfitter for the baseball team, and he's a guy that really has bought in to Coach Leipold's philosophy and belief in this system.
10th play of the drive coming up. They run it between the tackles inside the 30 to the 29. Key Lawrence making the tackle. Quint.
Well, with the scoreboard and clock out right now, the side judge, Fulton Carson, is effectively the human scoreboard. He's at the lower left 5-yard line right now, so he's got the clock. I'm going to swing around over to him in a second to see how much time's left in this 1st quarter.
All right, Q.
Hey, you never know, Q. Maybe he'll let you keep the time.
2nd and 7. They're going to run it all the way down. Hand it off again to Devin Neal. Isaiah Coe. 2-yard pickup on the play. I'm going to start keeping.
Hey, Mark, I'm just saying, how do you know they ran it all the way down?
Because this rollie costs a lot of money on my wrist.
Rollie, okay. We can't see anything up here.
I can multitask.
That is true. That is true. But to get back to the game, this is the perfect beginning to the game for Kansas. They're keeping the drive going. How do you keep the spark of an offense off the field? Just keep that Oklahoma defense on and keep getting 1st downs.
From the 28. 7:26 to go in the 1st quarter. Kansas eating up clock on this opening drive, completing another pass to Lassiter. His 2nd reception. Bowman in on the coverage.
Wow, this drive has been awesome. Kwame Lassiter's Kansas leading receiver right now. Jason Bean is looking like a different kind of guy right now.
Following the script perfectly.
Oh!
What was that? Asamoah. That's their
Offside.
3rd.
Number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Alex Grinch has got to be a little bit upset with his defense right now.
Oh my goodness, Brian Asamoah. What do we got to call him? Wait Samoa? You got to wait, man. You got to let him stop the ball before you do that, buddy. Oklahoma's just all over the place right now.
From the 15, 1st and 5. Zone, Robert.
What is you doing?
At the 1 yard line, unless he's trying to run down clock.
Jason
which would be
Bean, they do the QB zone read, and he's running, and I'm sitting here saying, bro, what are you doing? Come on, man. Look at this. He just runs out of bounds. I don't quite understand what he was just doing there. But listen, it was a big play.
6:10 to go in the first quarter.
Maybe he knows something that we don't.
That was a strange play with him running out of bounds when it appeared he could have scored. 1st and goal. Well, there's the touchdown. Devin Neal doing the honors. And the Jayhawks couldn't have scripted a better opening drive to set the tone and tenor for this ball game.
You know what it was? They've been talking about Jason Bean and his leadership and how he stepped up over the past couple of weeks since he first got, or the past couple of months since he first got to the program. He just wanted Devin Neal to get the touchdown.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Okay.
He wanted his guy, Devin Neal, the true freshman, the heart and soul of Lawrence, Kansas, to get the touchdown there. What do you know? Looks like Jason Bean's been cool beans all day today right now.
Andy Kotelnicki, the offensive coordinator for the Jayhawks, told us that they needed to get Jason Bean off to a good start, Robert, to get his confidence level up early in wake of last week, and they've done just that to start this football game. This was the run that set it up. Left it at the 1, and then after that, Devin Neal cashing in with his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. A prohibitive underdog. The Jayhawks at the crib to
Back in Lawrence, Kansas, a local power outage here on campus has knocked out power to the stadium, to the video board, and according to the Kansas folks on the sideline, they're using battery power right now for their headsets. Oklahoma's headsets may not be working at this very moment. The lights are on in this stadium. It's a dark moment, and right now it's 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go, and what's been a pretty shocking first quarter.
in so many different ways, Quint. You're right. 5:45 to go, as you said, in the first quarter. A campus-wide power outage. Some kids will do anything to get out of a midterm, huh?
That's a good one.
And a fair catch called by the Sooners. It'll be first down and 10. Eric Gray with the catch. Does that guy look worried? Caleb Williams? I don't think so. Back after this.
ESPN College Football is presented by Marathon, driven forward, and in part by Allstate. Save money like a champion with Allstate.
Kansas leading Oklahoma 7-0 on the field. Off the field, we had a power outage campus-wide several minutes ago, but it appears as if things are improving. Scoreboard back on, Quint.
Yeah, power to the scoreboard. Both scoreboards and video board now back on. 5:45 on the clocks. Both coaching staffs' headsets fully functional. Looks like we're on our way.
All right, the utility company, or whomever was involved in getting the situation rectified, did a great job. So we're back with power and 5:32 to go in the first quarter. Caleb Williams, maybe the biggest story in college football right now. True freshman out of Washington, D.C., took over the reins of the offense a week and a half ago in that OU Texas game. Completes the pass here to the backup slot, Drake Stoops. Spencer Rattler on the right being usurped as the starting quarterback. 13-yard gain on the play. Caleb Williams came in and saved the day for Oklahoma. A 21-point comeback against Texas last week, solidifying his position with a convincing performance, 18 of 23 against TCU. Hands it off here to Brooks. Brought down by Gavin Potter. What do you like about what Caleb Williams has done in this short sample so far, Robert, on the season?
It has been a short sample, but my, oh my. He has been going out there, letting that dog hunt. He's been playing with reckless abandon like he's got nothing to lose. And he's special, right? The way that he plays the game is going to create a reaction out of this team that Spencer Rattler just can't provide.
2nd and 9. Williams hands it off again to Kennedy Brooks. Brought down by Logan. 3rd down coming up for Oklahoma.
And listen, when I say about that spark that he provides that Rattler doesn't, it's not that Rattler can't throw the ball. It's all about the running aspect that Caleb Williams brings. It opens up the entire offense for everybody. And because he's out there playing like he has nothing to lose, he's giving his receivers 50-50 ball opportunities down the field. And boy, are they feasting on those.
Eric Gray in at tailback, 3rd and 4. A blitz coming, and he's sacked back at the 36. They lit him up. And a big-time sack. They're going to get him off the field. Kyron Johnson. And it's 4th down. That's their 5th sack of the season.
I'm going to watch him right here. He's going to come and blitz. Kyron Johnson, they talked about him all week, and they said he's a guy, he's an effort guy. He's got talent. We wish we had 3 or 4 more of them because he can do his job and everybody else's. And what do you know? When you're playing a team like Oklahoma, your best players have to show up, and boom, there's number 15, Kyron Johnson, right on cue.
Michael Turk averaging almost 52 yards per punt. One of the best punters in the nation right now. A high spiral that will carry him into the end zone. It'll come back out 1st down and 10 on a 61-yard punt. But look at those defensive numbers. They have been porous so far this year, but they flipped the script on that opening drive for the Sooners. 1st and 10 Jayhawks when we return.
Matt Barry in our college football studios with a Rocket Mortgage studio update. We're going to check in on Army and Wake Forest. Watch the touch here. Sam Hartman and Jaquari Roberson tied at 7. Great catch. Wake Forest grabs the lead 14-7. Looking to stay undefeated. Moments ago, Cincinnati down 7-0 to Navy. Desmond Ridder to Josh Wiley ties it at 7 apiece. Cannot confirm the report that it was Robert's cell phone chargers.
Well, I can tell you that it wasn't, Matt. He got a lot of juice on his own. Short gain on the play on 1st down. Jason Bean off to a great start. The transfer from North Texas, arriving on campus just 7 months ago and slowly ingratiating himself to his teammates. When he first got here, he was very reticent, didn't say much. But as time went on, began to get to feel more comfortable and has won over that locker room and the huddle. Hand it off again, keep it on the ground. That's Torrey Lachlan with the carry. Picks up a yard. It'll be 3rd and long.
When you talk about Jason Bean and how he first came to campus, they said he used to introduce himself as just Bean.
Right.
And they'd be like, what do you mean, Bean?
That's cool.
Jason Bean. I'm like, what are you James Bond? You're introducing yourself as just Bean?
I like that. Hey,
I like that a lot.
He'll have a lot of nicknames and a lot of doors open for him if he makes something special happen here this afternoon. Third and 6, Lassiter in motion. A little trips right formation. Delivers complete for the 1st down. And they move the chains again. Lassiter has been one of his favorite targets here early. Came into the game the team's leading receiver with 21 receptions. Picked up 9 yards on that. And look at that. This first quarter is almost done.
Yeah, they talked about wanting to win quarters, right? And they're a minute away from winning the first quarter here against Oklahoma. And when you talk about Kwame Lassiter, looking at his yardage and his receptions, he's a chain mover for Jason Bean. He's a security blanket. And right now, Jason Bean's throwing the ball with accuracy. He's using his legs. Everything they talked about wanting to do, they're doing right now. Run it again. Nice move outside. Neal on the move. Neal ready to
steal and pushed out of bounds at the 25. The Jayhawks firing on all cylinders right now offensively. A 44-yard scamper here.
Look at this. They bring the receiver in, get the safety block. Devin Neal gets to the edge, and he's rumbling, stumbling, bumbling down the sideline. Wow, what a play by Devin Neal.
From Lawrence, Kansas, just down the street. 5'11" freshman wanted to come here and make something special happen. 13 seconds to go in the quarter. Keeps it. Bean keeps those legs firing. And pushed out of bounds finally by Pat Fields. Let's see where they spot this. He came close to picking up another first down. They're going to move it back, though. Picked up 6. And that's going to be the final play of the first 15 minutes. Here in the penultimate weekend in October, Kansas controlling this football game so far and leading where it counts the most on the scoreboard.
They are shortening the game, and Kansas is in the lead, showing Oklahoma it's not going to be that type of day today.
Caleb Williams, one of the biggest stories in college football over the last couple of weeks. A look of assurance etched across his countenance right now. No worries right there as he gets ready to take the field shortly. But right now the story is about the Kansas offense as Devin Neal picks up a couple of yards. They lead 7-0. Robert, they won the first quarter, which was the goal. They want to win quarters. They want to stack quarters. Short-term goals. They can check that box off.
They can definitely check that box, and they're trying to make sure that the merit in the work that they've been doing shows up. And right now, it is. They're controlling the clock. They're actually controlling the line of scrimmage, which is something that not many people thought they would be able to do coming into this game.
33 keeps it himself. Bean got the first down and slides in safely at about the 7-yard line. First and goal for the Jayhawks on the 5-yard run.
At this point in the game, instant replay is back up and running. At this point, instant replay is back up and running.
You see here, Jason Bean on the mesh point, boom, makes the defensive end make a decision, gets out and go, and this is something that the Sooners have struggled with. Athletic quarterbacks who can run, and not just kind of fast. This guy is fast, right? He's a runner, he's a track star out there, and they are having some trouble corralling him and keeping him inside the pocket.
The Sooner defense on its heels right now. Run it again, Neal between the tackles, picks up about 4 on the play. Stutzman making the tackle for the Sooners. That offensive line doing a nice job. And just a few moments ago, the lead official telling everybody that the replay booth and TV replay booth officials were back and operational after that power outage campus-wide a moment ago. The video scoreboard is back as well. Kansas has run 22 plays. This is going to be 23. Oklahoma just 5. Keeps it again. Bean to the edge. Touchdown! They are giving the Sooner defense that work right now, but there's a flag down at about the 3-yard line. Let's see if it stands.
Looks like it's going back. Whenever you see those offensive linemen walking backwards, they know what's up.
Holding, number 54, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
It's going to go against Michael Ford.
They were driving the car nicely, right? And then Mr. Ford there had to put a brake to all that, but still have an opportunity here.
Offensive line otherwise doing a great job. When you look at last year, they gave up 9 sacks in this game to Oklahoma.
So, we can say so far, not only they're not giving up sacks and protecting the quarterback, they are running the ball with extreme success against this Oklahoma front, which has created havoc for a lot of people. 2nd and 12 on the jet sweep. They'll hand it off
to Lachlan, and Lachlan is brought down after a 4-yard gain just inside the 10. It'll be 3rd down and goal. What do you like in terms of a play call here, Robert?
When you sit here and you've got Jason Bean, he's playing well, this is an obvious passing situation, 3rd and 8. If you play it safe and don't trust him in this moment, you run the ball. But if you can trust him and say, hey, you're playing well right now, we're going to give you an opportunity to make a play, make a throw, I like the fact that they might try to attack with Trevor Wilson, number 7, if he's out there on the field right now.
So they can get a 1st down without scoring a touchdown.
He's not out there right now, so look for him to work this up top.
Handed off and nowhere to go. Lachlan got stopped immediately. Downs in on the stop for the Sooners, and they get the defense off the field. Nito, right there, number 11, making the tackle. The leader of the defense, one of them, out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. St. Thomas Aquinas, 4th down coming up, and in comes Jacob Borsilla.
Right there, it looked like Jason Bean should have pulled that on the zone read that they ran. Trying to play it safe, get the points, go up by 10 if they can make this here. No problem with that at all.
4-7 on the year. Make it 5 of 8. The Jayhawks leading 10-0. They'll take the field goal. The Oklahoma Sooners on their heels, a little bit rattled, a little disconcerted right now. Caleb Williams will take the field, brimming with confidence when we come back. Our Saturday night football matchup is a Big Ten battle in Bloomington. Heisman hopeful quarterback C.J. Stroud and running back Trevion Henderson lead the number 5 Buckeyes against Indiana, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. 10-0 Kansas. Still waiting for this Sooner offense to get on track. They've only had a small opportunity so far. They've only run 5 plays, folks, if you're just joining us. Fair catch called, 1st and 10 from the 25 for Caleb Williams. Let's go back to the studio first.
Gentlemen, big news today for Penn State. Sean Clifford back starting for the Nittany Lions. Is this a coverage break or a slip or something? But Keandre Lambert-Smith just waltzes his way into the end zone. 7-0 Penn State over Illinois.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Back here, 1st and 10. Caleb Williams, the top-ranked quarterback in the class of 2021. Getting the start again here, his 2nd start. Made his first last week against TCU. They're going to run it in a nice hole for Kennedy Brooks. Picks up a 1st down at about the 37. Kenny Logan Jr. making the tackle in the secondary, but a 12-yard gain for Brooks, who's really found new life with a new quarterback, Caleb Williams.
He's almost got more rushing yards since Caleb Williams became the starter than before that. You see it right at first 5 games, 63.6 rushing yards in the last 285. He's really turned it on after opting out last year.
Williams pulls it out, taking a shot, got the post, and overshot his receiver, West. Wow, and he knew it.
Oh, Trayvon West, wide open down the field. Maybe the wind here is a little bit different. Caleb Williams couldn't quite guide that one to him. He's been dropping dimes down the field all year. Look at him right here. He's like, oh, I got him. Oh, my Lord, what happened? You just missed him by a little bit, buddy.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10. Williams pulls it out again. Got plenty of time. Takes a shot downfield. It's up for grabs and picked off by the Jayhawks in the secondary. That's Ricky Thomas.
I told you that Caleb Williams has been throwing a lot of 50-50 balls down the field, and his receivers have been coming away with them. But right there, Ricky Thomas, just the right man in the right spot at the right moment. And right now, Kansas has everything going for them. They're getting sacks, they're getting interceptions. Oh my goodness, the fans are going crazy out here. Caleb Williams throws a pick. Kansas says, we're ready. We've been ready for this one all year.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff. Run it.
So right here you see Jaden Hazelwood. They're trying to sneak him underneath the coverage, running a post over the top. Double post, and right here, this is when Caleb Williams needs to throw the ball. He's got them beat. If he throws this down the field, it's a touchdown. You can see the vision right there. He doesn't. He second-guessed it, so now he tries to come back to it late and make the throw, and now he underthrows it. Ricky Thomas is right there in position to get the interception. Just a bad decision right there by Caleb Williams. I've told you guys at the beginning of the broadcast, he's been playing with reckless abandon, and it seems like he can do no wrong, but right there, playing with fire caught up to him.
That was his first interception of the season. Again, 6 touchdown passes, 1st and 10, coming back the other way. Bean fires, complete to Lassiter, who's been his favorite target so far this afternoon. And what a beginning for the Kansas Jayhawks. You'd have to go all the way back to October 26, 2019 to find their last conference win. It was about this weekend 2 years ago when they last beat a conference foe. And a very methodical Jason Bean looking over at the sideline. Play clock below 10. That's the formula today. Shorten the game. Little counter across the formation, and Devin Neal with no gain. Robert, what do you make of what's transpired so far? The mood, the result, especially on the Sooner side of the ledger.
It just seems like Oklahoma's asleep right now, right? They showed up, they're not awake, and Kansas taking advantage of it. They're shortening the game, they're running the ball, owning the line of scrimmage. Jason Bean is playing out of his mind right now, being, a distributor, throwing the ball, running the ball outside the tackle. And man, oh man, when you talk about Kansas and getting the results on the scoreboard, you see it happening right now. They're being relentless, and they have a belief in what they're doing.
Bean overthrows Lassiter, had him, but it'll be 3rd down.
There is a lack of emotion on this Oklahoma sideline right now. Their fans showed up here. It's a 5-hour drive north, but this team has not brought the juice. And this is the type of game with a 6:20 a.m. wake-up call, an 11 a.m. local kick. It's cloudy, it's chilly, it's 50 degrees. There's just a lack of energy, a lack of emotion, a lack of sense of urgency. Yeah, they've come from behind before this year, but they need a spark right now. They need something to turn the momentum of this game.
A great point, Quinn. Remember, they trailed by 21 in that thrilling, enthralling comeback against Texas. Bean takes a shot, complete at midfield. That's Arnold making the catch. Lawrence Arnold. And that's going to be a 1st down on a 15-yard gain, Robert Griffin.
Coming into this game, a lot of people said Jason Bean can't throw, he can't do this. And boy, is he showing everybody what he can do. On the move, keeps his eyes down the field, throws a dime down the field to Lawrence Arnold. Wow, Jason Bean is really playing at a high level. Last week he only had 86 passing yards, but this week he is leading Kansas right now in the first half to the lead over the Oklahoma Sooners.
He's 6 of 7 so far, 63 yards, and has run it 7 times for 44. Hands it off again, and boy, look at Devin Neal. Put his hat down and bring some boom. Ran over a couple of Oklahoma players. Lawrence finally making the tackle after the 8-yard gain. Well, this is what it looked like to start the contest. Jayhawks took the opening kick, took their time. They were very methodical, and Jason Bean with that key run set up this touchdown run by Devin Neal. It was 7-0, and they were on to something at that point. They had a power outage, and I tell you what, Kansas turning on the juice right now. Here he goes again. Bean, that's going to be a penalty, or maybe not. Looked like he got him by the face mask or the collar.
I think he got him underneath the face mask in the front, so.
My bad.
No. It was a violent hit. You see it right here. He gets him underneath the face mask and grabs him by the neck. you know, maybe he tackled him like that because he's a little frustrated. He's looking at the scoreboard too, and he's like, is that thing working? Is it 10-0 right now? What's going on, man?
3rd and 1. Yeah, we had a power outage for about 5 minutes. They were keeping the time down on the field with one of the officials.
You know, the most impressive thing from Kansas offense right now is that they've been balanced. And you and me both know a balanced diet always starts with a cupcake in each hand. And right now they're eating one of the passing game and one out of the running game. It's been very impressive.
Kansas has called their first charge timeout of the first half. Timeout on the field.
7:10 to go. The score and the power is on right now. It's working. And 10-0 is the score. Back after this.
He really is.
A look at the itinerant journey of the head coach, Coach Leipold, and the last 2 stops especially, Wisconsin Whitewater, where they went undefeated a couple of years. After that, Buffalo, where he brought several transfers with him here to Kansas. On 3rd and short, they're not going to get it. They got stopped. Oh, and they finally got it on a late surge. Wow. He got a late push from some of his biggest and best friends.
Look, he was, they were banging their head against the wall there for a little bit. It's like, oh, it's done, it's done, it's done. They're like, no, buddy, we got you. We're going to push you on through there, okay?
Now, when do officials decide to blow the whistle? How do you know when the guy stopped?
They should have blown the whistle. Come on. He was stopped there, stood up straight up in the air. They were starting to levitate him like Jesus to the clouds.
Wow.
And they still let him keep going. Hey, it's just that type of day.
And we got a timeout called
Kansas
by the Jayhawks with 6:32
for the first half, 30 seconds in length.
and an upset brewing on the plains of Kansas as we check in with the studio.
Yeah, Jonesy, one of those early windows where weird things are going on across the country. However, Wake Forest tied with Army. Hartman to A.T. Perry. Defender slips. Demon Deacons take advantage. 21-14 in the second quarter.
Now, to give you a little bit of context about the Jayhawks, this is their first lead against a top 25 team since 2014. We mentioned earlier they haven't defeated a conference opponent since this weekend 2 years ago. And they've lost 16 straight times to the Sooners. But remember, Coach Leipold talks about belief. He talks about relentlessness and pride. Part of the culture here. That pass incomplete for Lassiter. He was locked in on him the entire way there, it appeared, Robert. Incomplete. McCutcheon broke it up.
Yeah, McCutcheon out there. He's playing because of some injuries that they've had in the secondary, but Jason Bean was locked on to Lassiter there. And when he's thrown it to him today, more times than not, it's worked out. So it's kind of hard to blame him, but you don't want to telegraph a pass like that.
From the 39, 2nd down and 10. Play clock once again down below 10 seconds. Neal in the backfield. Takes the handoff. Maybe got half a yard on the play. Well, tomorrow's Sunday NFL Countdown. Before they face off, Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff sit down to discuss their blockbuster trade. Plus Randy Moss with his You Got Moss, best ones, best catches in college football and otherwise, and kick off your Sunday morning NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
Talking about an awkward conversation. How about those two?
Wow, I got to hear that one and see that.
That'll be interesting.
Under 6 minutes to go. So Oklahoma defense has spent a lot of time on the field in the first half here. Play clock at 4. Bean wisely throws it away. Nobody open on that play. Corey Laughlin, the nearest receiver, and it'll be 4th down. That one never really seemed to have a chance, and for the first time this afternoon, Reese Vernon comes in to punt.
No, they're actually going to kick a field goal. Look at this.
Okay, my bad. This is going to be a long one. 56-yarder?
He's getting the shoulders loose for this one.
Let's call it 57. Got it up in the air, but he's going to pull it left.
Didn't get those shoulders loose enough.
I tell you what, they're shooting their shot today, though, Robert Griffin III.
They are shooting their shot, and Jason Bean is managing the game and the clock. Got to give him his kudos.
The Sooners, who bench starting quarterback Spencer Rattler in favor of Caleb Williams, appear to be trying to set up for a game-ending field goal when Brooks instead broke free and sprinted to the end zone. Ran for 217 yards, a couple of go-ahead touchdowns, as Oklahoma with a spirited, raucous comeback against Texas in the Red River Showdown. And they won at 55-48, an instant classic.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So the penalties have piled up against Lincoln Riley's crew. 3 on defense, this one here on offense. And look at the difference in plays called so far and time of possession. This is the formula that Kansas wanted to follow. 1st and 15, out of the shotgun, Williams. Completes it at about the 39-yard line. Drake Stoops working against Kenny Logan, picks up 5. It'll be 2nd down. Sooners going with tempo here at the 39-yard line. They run it again. This time it's Brooks, brought down by Gavin Potter. Gain of 3, it'll be 3rd down. The Sooners moving with urgency.
And this is the problem when you go so fast, right? Kansas is trying to keep them off the field. Oklahoma loves to go fast when they get out there, but if you cannot sustain drives, you put yourself back on the sideline, and it continues to keep you in a hole, in a rut. You guys don't get involved in the game. This is a big 3rd down for them right here in the first half.
They've got to get to the 49 to pick up the first. Williams surveys, fires, complete. Hazelwood with the first down at the 41-yard line. Jaden Hazelwood, who had a big week last week with 3 touchdowns, really emerging. He picks up 17, and he blew a tire.
Guys, that was a filthy throw right there by Caleb Williams. They gave him all day. He scanned the field, found his guy, Jaden Hazelwood, right there with the dreads, right across the middle of the field. And what? He loses a shoe. Hey, Jordan Brand, man, get us some shoes that can stay on, guys. Come on now.
Lace up. 1st down and 10 from the 41. Williams keeps it. Backside heat. Great move to get her away. And this is why they call him Superman. Williams making a little bit of magic with his feet. Tiptoes out of bounds at the 26, but there's a flag down way back at the 44-yard line. It was a missed tackle by Jeremy Robinson for Kansas as well. But that's the added dimension that Lincoln Riley really loves about his quarterback, Caleb Williams.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 71. Offense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's still first down.
As you said, that added dynamic, right, of his feet. He's quick, strong, elusive. He even hit a Russell Wilson spin move back out. But right here, our guy, number 71, Anton Harrison, with the blindside block. Although at times Caleb Williams can make his offensive linemen look good even when they make mistakes, he's got to be smarter right there. He's already passed. The play's over. There's no need for that block.
Williams, a competitor, a guy that decided to come to Oklahoma, despite the fact that Spencer Rattler was QB #1, expected to be a high NFL draft pick. Brooks picks up about 3. Under 3.5 to go in the first quarter. We got another flag down on the play. Kansas, clearly the team right now playing with much more almost religious zeal and fervor.
After the play is over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 54. Offense.
Look at that.
Penalty.
Oh my goodness.
Second down.
That is not a pancake, Marquise Hayes. You cannot do that, right? Your team's already down 10-0. You don't need to be shooting yourself in the foot and putting your offense in an even worse situation. It's getting a little chippy out there right now. Maybe Oklahoma's a little upset that they're down 10-0, but the way to get back into the game is not to commit personal fouls like this one. What is blocking Ricky Thomas there going to do? The play's already over. Now it's 2nd and 37.
They got to get to Manhattan, Kansas to get a first down here. Williams throws a dart complete to Hazelwood again, and another flag. 3 of them down on the field. That's going to be a face mask.
Oh, wow.
At about the 49.
Yeah, it looks like Jeremy Webb there. Got a little bit of face mask there as he was trying to come in and make the tackle on Hazelwood. Grabs it. And a head-to-head. Oh, helmet to helmet. That might be targeting.
Personal foul, face mask, number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a 15-yard one.
Right here, you see him. He just goes for the tackle, pulls the head, and then Rich Miller comes in. Almost looks like he launches at him, but looks like they're going to let that one go.
Sooners on the move here. Williams wisely throws it away. Nobody home, but it'll be 2nd down and 10. This is not something you see often with a Lincoln Riley team. And they're going to say it's grounding because, well, he was in the pocket.
Intentional grounding, number 13. Offense. There was no receiver in the area, and the quarterback was still within the tackle box.
Well, there you go.
Lost it down. Second down.
There's your explanation. It's going to come back.
I would say that's their explanation, but I don't know if I'd quite agree with that call there by the refs. They're running a screen. Caleb Williams sees that it's dead, so he throws the ball out of bounds in the vicinity, and he's got all 3 of those guys over there. That's an offensive lineman and 2 receivers in the area of the throw.
Yeah, Drake Stoops is right there.
Now, if you want to talk about was he trying to throw it to that guy? No, he wasn't. He was throwing it away. But as a referee, you have to understand that if the receiver is in the area, you can't throw that flag.
Well, they move it back nonetheless at the 48. Williams has time again, finds his man underneath on the crossing route. That's Mims. Mims, the team's leading receiver yardage-wise.
Number 17.
Gets a chunk of that yardage back. It'll be 3rd down, about 9 or 10 to go. A 13-yard pickup by Mims.
Yeah, they do a nice job just hiding Mims underneath, running a double cross concept. He is a big play receiver, but right now, yards is a good thing for this Oklahoma Sooners offense.
Look at that. We're going to have a procedure penalty against Oklahoma.
Final snap, false start, number 27. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's against Jeremiah Hall. 8 penalties, a total of 66 yards for Lincoln Riley's team already.
This is very uncharacteristic of them. This is not the type of team that they are, but we talked about it with Quint earlier. They're just not awake right now. They're committing penalties. They're shooting themselves in the foot, throwing interceptions, getting turnovers. Defense isn't stopping anybody. They got to wake up quick, otherwise it's going to be a problem.
They have more penalty yardage than passing yardage right now. 3rd and 12. Williams finds his receiver. That's Hall, but he's short of the first down, tackled by Jeremy Webb. And 4th down coming up with under 2 minutes to go. Let's see what Lincoln Riley does here. Williams is still on the field. And they're going to go for it here on 4th down from the 33-yard line. Trailing 10-0. They're 5 of 7 on 4th down situations this year. Eric Gray in the backfield beside Caleb Williams. Williams surveying. Tells his receiver go downfield. Got him. Crowded. Incomplete to Eric Gray. Oh, is it? They're ruling a catch.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass. First down.
It's complete at the 3.
What a catch.
And now they're saying incomplete.
Like I said, we got to see if he caught that bad boy, but here it is, Eric Gray, the running back out of the backfield.
Ruling on the field. There's an incomplete pass.
He did not catch it.
Ball goes over, first down.
They're right the first time, incomplete. Wow. He sold it. Let's check in with the studio.
All right, guys, coming up on the Lexus halftime report, Cincinnati's got a sneaky Navy team today. We'll get you highlights of that. Plus, Wake Forest and Army, that's also a good one. We'll get you caught up on them. And Penn State and Sean Clifford, he's back in action. We've got highlights. Sam Acho, Joey Galloway join me coming up on the Lexus halftime report.
Let's take one more look at that incomplete pass a moment ago. Had it right the first time. It was incomplete. One of the officials ruled that it was complete. He stepped in to spot it.
Yeah, what it looked like is Gavin Powder just got in the vision of Eric Gray right at the last second, and he lost the ball, and it goes right through the breadbasket.
Bean keeping it, cuts it upfield, and picks up about 5 or 6 on the play. Under a minute to go, and this game being shortened by Jason Bean and Kansas.
You hear us keep referring to they're shortening the game, they're shortening the game. What they're doing is they're running the clock all the way down as much as they possibly can. And that puts the pressure on them to make sure that they can continue moving the chains, getting first downs. But it also keeps Oklahoma's offense off the field. And that's why all these possessions become even more paramount. So mistakes like that, going for it on 4th and 6 and not getting it, hurt you badly.
2nd and 5. Gonna run it between the tackles, and a nice game by Neal, brought down by Asamoah. That's going to be the last play of a very stunning, surprising, somewhat shocking first half as the Jayhawks lead it 10-0. They talk about changing the culture. Nothing changes culture faster than success and wins. As we go back to the studio, Kansas leading 10-0. Welcome everyone back to Lawrence, Kansas. This is ESPN's College Football presented by Marathon. Folks, you're watching the Big 12 Conference on ESPN. Oklahoma Sooners have that 3 beside their name. 3, the 3rd-ranked team in the country, trailing 10-0. And it's about following a meticulous plan, Robert Griffin.
He wants them to be relentless. He is a builder of programs. He wants them to play with pride. He wants them to play with energy. And thus far, they have done just that. Man, these Kansas Jayhawks came to play today. They don't care who's on the other side of the ball, whether they're awake or not. They said today we're going to show on the scoreboard the merits of all our hard work. And thus far in the first half, they did that. And let's see if they can continue it into the second half.
The Oklahoma Sooners are going to have the football to start the 3rd quarter. Kansas looking for their first conference win since 2 years ago this weekend. The Sooners will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. We talked ad nauseum about Caleb Williams, the true freshman, saving the Sooners in the last 2 weeks. How did they get back into it here, Rob?
Yes, like we talked about in the first half, they like to go fast. But in order to go fast, you have to put plays together and sustain drives. That's third downs. That's running the ball effectively. Kennedy Brooks needs...
Going to hand it off to Brooks on 1st and 10. He'll pick up a yard. Caleb Williams missed a deep shot earlier in the game. Let's go down to Quint.
Penalties and execution, the main issues for Oklahoma, according to their head coach, Lincoln Riley. But I think those are just symptoms of a widespread, more serious issue, and that is the lack of emotion. This team came out today, they were flat as a pancake. There's no mojo here, there's no vibe. Let's see if that changes in the second half.
Williams has been a great catalyst. Right now scrambling. Great second effort to make it out to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down after that gain of 4, 3rd and 5. This Kansas defense, which is ranked, frankly, folks, near the bottom of a lot of the statistical categories, has limited this Oklahoma offense to less than double-digit plays almost so far this week.
When they came into the game, they only had 3 sacks, only 2 interceptions, and they've already racked up a couple of those in this game alone. This defense is one that's ranked at the bottom, but it doesn't matter. You have to play the game every Saturday. Right now, they're playing at a high level.
Williams out of the shotgun again, delivers a strike complete to Jeremiah Hall. Ball came loose. It's on the ground. No signal yet. Hall may have retrieved it, and the Sooners retain possession. As Kansas had a momentary opportunity. 1st and 10, Oklahoma.
Man,
close call.
Oklahoma is playing with disaster today. You see it right here, Jeremiah Hall, H-back, gets the catch, and this fumbles. The guy just launches himself and hits the ball right away, and they are very, very lucky to have gotten that ball back. Wow.
1st and 10 from the 41, the toss into the boundary. This is going to be Brooks again, and Brooks stopped up after a gain of about 2 by Bryant. A historic first half here in Lawrence so far. First time Oklahoma has been held scoreless in the first quarter in a conference game in almost 5 years. Look at those couple firsts up at the top of your screen, and then Kansas, their first lead against a top 5 team in 7 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts on that list, and they're really good for Kansas and not so good for Oklahoma and the Sooners.
Looks like we've got Keenan Caldwell down in the field for the Jayhawks, being tended to by the athletic training staff. We'll be back after this. Taco Bell welcomes you to the Live Moss Student Section of the Year contest. Use hashtag Student Section Sauce to get the committee's attention. And go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Okay. What do we make of that sign, RG?
I know this guy's the most famous fan in Lawrence, Kansas right now.
2nd and 8 for the Sooners after recovering their own fumble. Pass completed the 45. And that's going to go to Eric Gray. It'll be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Gain of 7 on the play. Don't count this team out. Just down 10-0. Remember, Williams led them back from a 3-touchdown deficit against Texas. 3rd down and 2. 4 receivers out to the top of your screen. Little receiver screen complete. And a nice cut and run after the catch by Eric Gray to pick up the 1st down. You know, I had a chance to meet and speak with Caleb Williams' dad, Carl, and his mother, Dana Williams, at the hotel a little bit earlier today. You can see, after speaking with those loving and doting parents, where he gets his confidence from and his composure as well. Keeping his composure here and tiptoeing out of bounds. They'll lose a couple of yards. Gavin Potter there with the heat.
Yeah, you were telling me that you had an opportunity to speak with them, and I think that's really cool when the parents can show their support, travel with their sons and daughters in college sports, and really just show them that love that, and you get to see really who they are, where they come from, their background, and Caleb Williams is a great player with a bright future.
2nd and 12. Farouk in motion, now sets. Farouk on the catch. Made one tackler miss, and then Logan Jr. finally brings him down after a 5-yard gain. Well, time now for today's Aflac trivia question. Who was the last true freshman to start at quarterback for Oklahoma? True freshman.
I know a lot of people are using Google right about now.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. That's a
Jamel Holloway?
That's a tough one.
Eric Gray in the backfield on 3rd and 7. They got to get to the 28. Williams with a little audible. Fires complete down to the 22-yard line. They move the chains. Good catch by Drake Stoops. Working against Jason Gillum. He picks up 13. Stoops has been called a couple of times this afternoon. Oklahoma going a little bit faster here. Williams hands it off. That's Eric Gray brought down by Gavin Potter. Picked up 5. Oklahoma finding a little rhythm here, Robert. How are they doing it?
Well, it's not just the going fast. They're also featuring Eric Gray right now. They've thrown it to him on a couple screens, thrown it to him out of the backfield, handing the ball off to him. He's a transfer from Tennessee. He scored his first touchdown last week. But I just like the consistency that they're working with. On 3rd down right there, they make an audible, get the little out route with the go ball, and 2 routes coming across. It's just they're playing good football right now and executing.
Williams hands it off to Brooks. Brooks wrapped up and lunging forward to pick up the 1st down. Great second effort as Dotson wrapped him up around the shoelaces. But it's 1st down for Oklahoma at the 12.
You see right here, Kennedy Brooks gets tackled, 2 arms on the legs, tackled in the open field, and that's not normally something that you see from him, and it's just a sign of how the day's been going. Oklahoma's had to work through a lot of adversity today, and normally Kennedy Brooks would make that guy miss, but good on Romello Dotson there to make that tackle in the open field.
12th play of the Sooner drive here. Brooks runs it into the boundary, cuts up. Broke a couple of tackles and pushed out of bounds at about the 8. Rich Miller finally bringing him down, a 4-yard gain on the play. And Oklahoma and Lincoln Riley's crew on that side of the football looking like what we expected coming into this football game on this drive.
That's their best drive of the game by far, right?
Yep, easily.
And the thing that just comes to mind is in talking to defensive coordinator Brian Boylan, he said he wanted to make Oklahoma earn everything they got today, and that's exactly what they've done, including on this drive. They just got to try to stop them from getting 7.
2nd and 5, hands it off to Brooks again. Brooks is tackled at about the 5-yard line by Nate Betts. Sooners just rolling up their sleeves and going to work on this drive. 3rd down, though. Third and 3 coming up. Williams into the end zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Hazelwood again. He had 3 touchdowns last weekend, and it's first here this afternoon.
Oh, man, Oklahoma comes out after the half, puts together a nice drive. What they did there is they ran a little slot fade right there with Jaden Hazelwood with a known back shoulder throw. You could tell that him and Caleb Williams knew what they were going to do. Caleb Williams gets the snap, makes a nice throw, and they're back in this thing. Make this extra point here. It's 10-7, down by 3, and they can try to just let all those worries from the first half go away. It's a great job for them. That was big time by the Oklahoma Sooners.
10-7 football game, and after hitting the snooze button Not knowing that the game started at 11 o'clock local time, Oklahoma has arrived. They trail by a field goal when we come back.
Great guest list for the Mannings tonight.
You've reached Peyton and Eli. Leave a message.
It's Pacino, and I want to be in the show.
Foot by foot, we're going to measure Peyton's head.
Watch Peyton and Eli. You never know who will drop by.
You know that's going to be fun. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma Sooners, with Hazelwood's 6th touchdown this season, 7th of his career, capping a 14-play, 75-yard drive to start the third quarter. Right back in this football game.
You see it right there. 3 less plays than they had in the entire first half, more yards, and a touchdown. This is the Oklahoma offense that we were expecting to see the entire game, but they decided to wake up in the second half and make a game out of this one with Kansas.
Logan Jr. back for this kick. It'll come out 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Jason Bean right now tasked with the appropriate response to that scoring drive by Oklahoma. How huge would it be if they could at least get some semblance of points on this drive, Robert?
They need it, right? We talk about this Uncle Mojo. The momentum has kind of shifted to Oklahoma. Why? Because they came out, put a drive together, and got 7. Now Kansas has to answer here, even with 3 points, which show that they're still in this game, as in the momentum side.
Hands it off to his tailback in a bruising run by Devin Neal. Picked up about 9 on that play.
And they're picking up where they left off in the first half, running the ball, owning the line of scrimmage. Devin Neal, 2-sport athlete here at Kansas. As we talked about, he's the local guy. He's the local favorite, the local hero. Hey, give him the ball. Let him go out there and show that answer and lean on this offensive line that's been playing great all game.
Real big part of the personality of that offensive unit for Kansas. Neal makes it 2nd down and 1. Gonna get another chance here. Picks up the 1st down and then some. Ball came loose, but he was already down. Robert, are you surprised at the amount of success they've had running the football?
I am a little surprised because no one thought that this Kansas offensive line was going to come out here and be maulers today.
Wow.
You know, that's the weakness of Oklahoma's defense, is their ability to stop the run, stop it up front. And you see right here today, 30 rushes for 148 yards, averaging almost 5 yards a carry. This is what Texas did to them. This is what TCU did to them. But we weren't sure if Kansas quite had that strength up front, and they are showing today that they got it.
1st and 10 from the 46. This time nowhere to go, but Neal got about 2 with his forward progress. Ryan Asamoah making the tackle on the play for Oklahoma. We haven't seen Kansas challenge that secondary that was victimized big time last week in that win against TCU. In particular, Jaden Davis was picked on. Quentin Johnston gave him work last week, straight up. He's keeping it a buck. 2nd and 8.
Oh.
And we saw that in the first half a lot from that defensive front for Oklahoma.
Offside, number 88. Defense jumped into the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
That's the 4th offsides penalty by Oklahoma's defense, and that's exactly what Lincoln Riley was alluding to when he spoke to Quint Kesnick a moment ago.
Yeah, you see the guy right here, and you're like, why is he wearing number 88 anyway? Is he supposed to be on offense?
That's
Come on, Kelly. You should know the snap count. You're wearing an offensive number anyway.
I know we have double numbers in college football, but yeah, that was interesting. Under 6 minutes to go here in the 3rd. 2nd and 3 now. They run it again. Neal, and he's going to be brought down right near the line of scrimmage by Benito. Benito, we haven't called his name a whole bunch today. One of the leaders defensively from South Florida, St. Thomas Aquinas, one of the storied football programs down there in the Fort Lauderdale area. Former high school basketball player, uses a lot of his footwork and handiwork to make tackles and put a little bit of pressure on the quarterback. Did a great job spying quarterback Adrian Martinez several weeks ago. His agility in space. On 3rd and 3, trying to stay on the field. Complete for the first down and then some. Arnold with the catch. Lawrence Arnold moves the sticks. A huge conversion on 3rd down.
That was finger looking good. You got here Lawrence Arnold. He's running across the formation. Big, tall, lanky guy. Throw it up, let him make a catch. He's trying to find the end zone, trying to get through, guys. Look at Jason Bean. He said, look, guys, I know I don't have 300 yards passing and 4 touchdowns today, but I've been effective throwing the ball, moving the chains, doing what the coaches are asking me to do. He is playing big-time ball right now for what his coaches are asking him to do. He's doing it at a high level. Gotta love it.
1st and 10. Fairchild across the formation, the pass complete. Quick receiver screen. Oh, he stays on his feet. McBride with a little spin move, eluding one tackler and picking up another first down. Poor tackling by the Sooners on that 21-yard gain. Yeah, it'll make you shake your head a bit.
The poor tackling is continuing to plague the Sooners right here. Ooh, spin move on the sideline, getting vertical. Man, these guys look like they're having a lot of fun out there today, and I know the Kansas faithful are excited for them.
And still sticking to the formula, Robert, running the play clock down, taking their time. Orderly and methodical. Toss to the wide side of the field. Neal cuts it up. Gets down just short of the end zone at about the 1, just inside the 1. Yeah, he's saying, feed me. He wants it again.
He's saying, feed me to rock. And this lack of tackling is continuing to be the bane of the Sooners' existence. Right here, Stephen McBride, spin move on the sideline. Devin Neal gets the jet sweep toss, and he turns it up the field. And they're just missing tackles left and right. Man, you want to talk about a response. These Jayhawks are responding in a big way, moving the ball all the way down the field and doing what got them there.
Telling numbers there. Rush yards. And we got a flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 33. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Boy, those are the plays you can't afford to have if you're the Jayhawks with such a slim margin of error. That's only their 3rd penalty, though. They've been very disciplined so far today.
They have, and they bring in Spencer Rowe there, and he goes a little prematurely. Maybe he's a little excited. They're moving the ball down the field against the Oklahoma Sooners, but as you said, you can't have those type of penalties. It pushes them back here, but they've got a couple more downs to make up those yards and get in the end zone.
2nd and goal from just outside the 8. Bean on the run into the end zone. His receiver fell. No flag, and it'll be 3rd and goal coming up, intended for Cardell.
He might have actually had Trevor Cardell there if he didn't fall down. But right here, he just throws a my guy or nobody ball. His guy falls down. Luckily, the Oklahoma Sooner guy right there, Joshua Eaton, doesn't have hands and can't catch it. Jason Bean got away with one there. He must be living right.
3rd and goal. They were able to convert last time on the big 3rd down. See what they do here. Fairchild, their tall receiver, number 2, to the top of your screen. Bean on a predetermined run, cuts it up. Bean! He didn't get in, just shy of the end zone, literally inches away.
Oh, so close.
4th down.
So 4th and inches. And what does Coach Leipold do?
Look at him, boom. Oh, go the other way, get vertical, and yep, just down short of the goal line. Right here, boom.
Yeah,
right there, man.
Good call. Just out.
What do you do? They're going for it, baby.
Devin Neal has been a workhorse for them. Play clock already at 5. Neal, touchdown Jayhawks. He's in. No doubt. and a big-time response, and why not stomp a little bit?
Devin Neal said, "Feed me to rock, coach." Coach Lifewood, feed me to rock. They gave it to him. He said, "Say less. I'll meet you in the end zone, baby." What a response by the Jayhawks. Just when Oklahoma comes out, puts 7 points on the board, and it seems like the momentum's shifting their way, they grab it right back.
Man, Devin Neal right now, a portrait of excitement and emotion. They've certainly got a lot of juice there on the sidelines. Looked like he was hitting them folks too, doing his little dance. Why not? It's about the culture here. Doing things right, being a professional, belief, pride, relentlessness. And right now, the lead when we come back.
You know, in the beginning of the game, it was all laughs and smiles. We're here in Lawrence, Kansas. We're going to come out here and get a win. He throws an interception. He's smiling and laughing with his guy, Marvin Mims, on the sideline. You know, hey, man, this is what we're going to do. And then after the touchdown in the second half, it's all serious. What do we call it? It just got real.
Yes, it did.
They understand that now in this game, late in the third, they're down by 10 points. Their defense isn't stopping Kansas' offense, and they got to go make something happen right now.
Let's go back to the studio.
All right, guys, AT&T 5G studio update. Sam Hartman continues to sling it all over the yard. Again, he finds Jaquari Roberson. That's just good touch. Roberson takes it the rest of the way right now. Wake Forest up on Army, 35-28.
You know, Matt, I was speaking with Chris Paul a couple of days ago. He said, Mark, Wake Forest is a football school.
It's a football school.
I don't want to hear anything else about basketball. It's a football school. 1:30 to go in the third quarter. Let's see what Oklahoma's response is on the reverse. West taking it downfield, got a lane and an alley, and off to the races. West inside the 10, first and goal Sooners. What an answer by them. Webb saved a touchdown on the play. And they got back a huge chunk.
Well, if you're trying to get back in the game, this is how you do it. Lincoln Riley said, "I'm pulling all the tricks out the bag." He gives it to Trayvon West. And you see here, and he's running down the field, and oh, there's a hold right there. Oh, they might have got away with one right there. I know the Boomer Sooner and all the Sooner Nation is happy that the ref didn't call that one. But wow, you want to get back in the game quick? Do a reverse, run it down the field, get in the red zone.
66 yards in all. That's Jeremy Webb, who's down on the field. But you alluded to it, Robert. What a tremendous play call by the Sooners and Lincoln Riley.
It's a gutsy play call.
Yeah.
Very gutsy.
What's the risk there?
I mean, the risk is they get penetration and knock you back, and now it's 2nd and 15.
Okay. Webb, I think, was the player in on the tackle.
Yeah, you see him right here.
Nice to see him get up.
He's running off the field, and goes down. Uh-oh. Maybe it was a late onset injury feeling, or
late onset. Is that a medical term?
I'm glad you picked up on that. Okay. Late onset injury feeling. I don't know, but something tells me that little birdie was chirping in his ear to give them the opportunity to reset themselves.
There you go. First and goal. A look of purposeful intent on the face of Caleb Williams. From the 9. Hands it off to Brooks. He's tied up right near the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard on the play. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Kansas up 10 on the number 3 team in the country, who this year have seemingly specialized in comebacks. 7-0. They got a clean sheet so far this year, but they flirted with danger on several occasions, and doing it again here this afternoon. They came in a prohibitive favorite. Williams pulls it out. Caught touchdown, Hall. Their second touchdown of the third quarter.
And right there, you just see how the threat of run by Caleb Williams and how effective the running backs have been draws the linebackers up and allows Jeremiah Hall to sneak right on by. Woo! We got us a doozy, don't we?
What about that? 14 seconds to go for Hall. Right there, fourth touchdown catch this season, 12th of his career. Williams much more focused. No smiling right now.
Oh, he ain't smiling at all.
Extra point good, back to within a field goal, 17-14. Well, we asked you earlier as we revisit our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last true freshman quarterback to start for Oklahoma?
You know, it's great that you find these answers because you do some studying. Right?
But it's the I don't think I'm right.
It's the Mullet brothers. It's Cale Gundy.
Oh.
He's actually on the staff.
Wow. What about that?
Oh, yeah, he's on the staff.
Did you look that up, man?
I did not look it up. I found it in my research this week because, you know, Caleb Williams, big storyline, big deal this week, and first freshman to start since Cale Gundy, and it's amazing that he's actually on the staff. As you see Caleb Williams right here.
Look at that leadership
pumping up the defense. Look at him. He got the do-rag going.
I'll tell you what, Lincoln Riley told us a great story about his recruiting visit at Oklahoma. He was there with his mom and dad, Dana and Carl Williams, and he said he remembered them going through campus, taking a walk and going to the different buildings, and he remembers the family and Caleb being very interested in the details, you know, expectations, academically, athletically, a development plan for their son. And he moved to Norman early, Williams did, on the kickoff return. Oklahoma with good coverage. He started recruiting other players. Flag down on the field. Caleb Williams started calling up other 4- and 5-star recruits saying, hey, maybe you want to join me here in Norman, Oklahoma. And at the time, remember, he was QB number 2.
Yes, he was.
It speaks to his concept of team.
And his confidence, you know? Anytime you commit somewhere where they already have a guy, like a Spencer Rattler, and in your own class you already have a guy committed, it just shows how much you believe in yourself.
Number 5, kicking team, 5-yard penalty. They will re-kick the ball.
They're going to re-kick it. So we'll tee it back up, literally and figuratively. Spencer Rattler, QB number 2 right now. Usurped on the depth chart in wake of that Texas game.
And I also want to say, just for Spencer Rattler and watching him throughout the game and how he's gone about being a leader on the sideline in the midst of this team going through some adversity, right?
Right.
That's big on him because he could easily check out and say, you know what, coach benched me. I don't want to be a part of this. He's there for his guys. He's supporting Caleb Williams. You love to see that from a young guy, and no matter what happens for him in the future, you root for guys like that.
It's great because Lincoln Riley is very intentional in pointing out that Spencer Rattler had a great week last week and would have been ready to play and would have played well if given the opportunity. Return out to the 28. We check in with the studio.
Guys, this Army-Wake Forest game is just back and forth. Army lined up for a punt. They decide to fake it. Got a player wide open, but watch Travion Red read it and dare to be great. 83 yards later, Wake Forest goes up 42-28. However, Army gets the ball back moments ago. I mean, you turn around and there's a 75-yard touchdown either way. 42-34, barring the extra point.
Wow, what a game. Meanwhile, back here on 1st and 10. That's going to be Devin Neal, who already has 2 touchdowns today for the Jayhawks. That's the last play of the third quarter. 45 minutes in the books, and you're looking at the comeback kid, Caleb Williams. He's done it before. Does he have another miracle in him for Lincoln Riley and the Sooners, ranked number 3? The Jayhawks looking for the upset when we come back to Lawrence for the 4th. This was the scene pregame. Look at the number of fans. That's the first quarter. And folks, just been told that they announced on local radio that stadium gates are open here. No more tickets required. If you're in town, come on down, and they have. Trying to witness something historic and special here, and a big hit on defense. What a play by Ogwebu. Trevor Wilson, ball carrier.
See here, Trevor. Oh, you can hear that from a mile away. Trevor Wilson's like, man, I'm a wide receiver. Why they got me back here running the ball, getting hit like this? But it does appear that Oklahoma's defense has woken up, and they're playing with a lot of energy. Man, why'd they have to wait for things to get bad before they got good?
Shane Witter also in on the tackle for the Sooners. 3rd down and 8. They had a big conversion in the previous quarter on 3rd down. Blitz coming. And he finds his receiver. It's dropped by Arnold. Wow.
You see them here. They bring the blitz late. Add-on blitz right there. Jason Bean uses his legs, gets outside the pocket, and Lawrence Arnold drops the ball. Now, he's not going to get the first down. He's short of the first down, but at least it puts them in a situation where they get more yards. And in that moment right there, if you're Kansas, you need him to make that play. Yeah, maybe you're still punting because you're not going to go for it on 4th down in your own territory, but at least it's still positive energy and momentum for you.
This is just the 2nd punt of the afternoon for Vernon. And it's a returnable one to Mims. Marvin Mims across midfield. Good starting field position. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, guys, Cincinnati's been back and forth with Navy all day, starting to get their separation now. 2nd touchdown of the day for Josh Wiley. Now, Bearcats up 27-10 over Navy, end of the 3rd quarter.
Let's take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Cincinnati sitting at number 2 right now. Oklahoma at 3.
You still feel like they're going to try to find a way to get Cincinnati out of that college football playoff?
I think Luke Fickell's squad is deserving as a representative in the college football playoff when those first rankings and standings come out in a couple of weeks. Based on their body of work. Here's Caleb Williams, back to pass, slings it into traffic, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. You noted earlier that he's thrown it into traffic and gotten some very auspicious results on 50-50 balls. That time, Stonger was the intended receiver.
Yeah, sometimes when you throw the ball down the field and you just throw it like you have nothing to lose, you're praying and hoping that your receivers will make those plays for you. Right there, he kind of threw it out of bounds. Maybe it was a little bit of a throwaway. But if he threw it in bounds, number 1, Kenny Logan, is a ball hawk. He was going to make a play on that one for sure.
On 2nd down, Williams finds his receiver out of the backfield. Brooks on the move. Got a blocker ahead of him. Brooks brought down finally at the 24-yard line. Got a great block on the play from Tyrese Robinson. Well, our Week 7 Monday Night Football matchup has the Saints coming off the bye in Seattle taking on the Seahawks. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN Deportes and the ESPN app. ESPN2 will have Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli Manning. Coverage begins Monday Night Countdown, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific time. A 24-yard gain on that previous play. 1st and 10 from the 24.
Guess on that Monday Night Football when you got Jameis trying to eat some more W's, huh?
However he wants to serve them up. Williams pulls it out, finds his receiver across the formation. Nice run by Gray. Gray close to the end zone, pushed out of bounds at about the 2-yard line. Eric Gray put a nice move on Jeremy Webb to pick up another 23. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.
See here, Eric Gray's having him a nice solid game, catching the ball and running it. Almost gets into the end zone, but there's that man I was talking about, Kenny Logan Jr., knocking him out of bounds, flying all around the field, and he was a little slow to get up as they're going over to check on him right now. That would be a really big loss for them if he's out.
Yeah, he had a big afternoon so far. Quint?
Logan down on a knee here off that big tackle on the sideline, and he is a key component to this Kansas defense. But being on this Oklahoma sideline the last 5 minutes, man, this is a different body language, just a different posture. The Sooners have finally arrived with a sense of urgency. They're bringing emotion to the table, and they've clearly found their rhythm now offensively. So that has swung the full pendulum today for them. Flat as a pancake in the first half, and now they're here for real.
Yeah, that's so true, Quint. As I mentioned, this Oklahoma team was flirted with danger a lot this year, and we noted in speaking with them, Robert, earlier this week, especially, defensive coordinator Alex Grinch, he sounded like the Grinch at times, and you would never guess that they were 7-0 and ranked number 3 in the country.
He said that tackling has hurt them, injuries have hurt them. They haven't played well around their freshmen that had to play, but the thing that I'm noticing today is that they are waiting for things to get bad before they get good. It's kind of like when you walk in somewhere and you're going to compete somewhere and you get slapped in the face. You get slapped in the face, and now all of a sudden you want to be the player that you are. Why don't you be that player from the beginning of the game? That way you're not in this situation that you're in right now. But we got to give credit to Kansas. They have played really well today.
Brooks in the backfield. Takes the handoff and scores it. Touchdown Sooners with their first lead of the afternoon. They got a flag down on the play. Let's see if it stands. Flag back at the 4-yard line.
Looks like it's going to be a personal foul on O.J. Burrows. Had a little fist fight there with one of the receivers from Oklahoma.
For Brooks, it'll be his 8th rushing touchdown of the season.
The play is over. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 5. Defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff. That is number 5's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Well, Brooks, who had the touchdown here.
Yeah, you see it right here. You're going to watch. They always get the second guy. He kind of holds him a little bit. He gets his hand off him. Man, what you doing? Hits him in the face. Jaden Hazelwood's laughing because he knows, hey, man, you just hurt your team.
That second one was really unnecessary. Oklahoma leading by 4. A look at the litany of close contests they've had this year. All that counts, though, is the W. Back after this. And along with their contributions to universities' general scholarship funds for every field goal and extra point made, Allstate will also be donating to the American Red Cross to help with disaster relief efforts. Thank you, Allstate. On a crisp, slightly overcast Saturday afternoon here, the second last weekend in the month of October, the Oklahoma Sooners playing with a perilously close margin right now. It's 21-17 with 12:35 to go in the fourth quarter.
Seems like they do this a lot. They like playing with fire.
After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, guys, remember next week, Michigan State. First things first for the Wolverines. Northwestern blocked punt. Cornelius Johnson lays out, gets the block. A few plays later, ensuing drive, Hassan Haskins takes it right up the gut. Boy, is next week going to be fun. They've just tacked on a field goal, 27-7 Wolverines.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. Back here. I tell you what, Mel Tucker's doing a fantastic job at Michigan State. Really, I think, deserves some credit in terms of Coach of the Year balloting. Bean runs it out of bounds. Little or no gain. Well, our Saturday night football matchup, Big Ten battle in Bloomington. Heisman hopeful Stroud. Running back Henderson taking on number 5 Buckeyes against Indiana. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app. One tap. 2nd and 11 coming up.
Seems like Stroud and the Buckeyes are having a nice resurgence there. Offense is starting to click. Defense is playing a little bit better. Be dangerous come college football playoff time.
2nd down and 11 for Jason Bean, looking to throw it. Completes it to Lassiter. Picks up the first down. Moves the chains. Knocked it out of bounds by Lawrence. November 2nd, remember, is when those college foot playoff standings come out.
Oklahoma's
13-yard gain.
Oklahoma's trying to make sure they're still in the running for that. Trying to hold on here and get a victory against Kansas.
Now ranked number 3rd in the country. And they're not building a lot of style points with these close margins. Robert, I want to talk a little bit about that on the other side of this play, and if it has any significance. You were down in Dallas with that de facto committee going through a mock draft situation. And what do you think about how it might impact Oklahoma in a game like this, if at all?
Well, this game is one where the committee is going to look at it and say, this isn't a great win, right? It was a close game, the way it played all the way through. But for Oklahoma, if they just get the win, down the stretch, they have 2 of their last 3 games against Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State, and 2 of those games are on the road. So if they win those games, the committee will look at those as not only good wins, but great wins, and that will get them in if they stay undefeated.
2nd and 14 for Jason Bean. Rolls out, delivers a strike complete to Grimm, still on his feet. Grimm close to the 40-yard line, and the Jayhawks invariable and inexorable in their intent and effort. 25-yard gain and a first down.
Woo, you see Jason Bean getting on the move. Luke Grimm runs a nice little out route, gets vertical. Woo, it's exciting football today, fellas.
No doubt. Looking for their first conference win in almost 2 years. Trying to snap a 16-game losing streak against Oklahoma. There's a little movement on the left side of that offensive front.
False start, number 68. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
There's a penalty against Bostic Jr. Here's a look at the schedule. And you point to those last 3 games as big ones, huh?
Oh, yeah. You got Baylor, Iowa State, Oklahoma State. And 2 of those are away. You got at Baylor and at Oklahoma State. Ranked opponents, teams that are generally believed to be good football teams, could be ranked higher after this weekend. Oklahoma's got a nice little slate on their hands after the bye week. So they're really looking at this right now, trying to get a W just so they can survive to get to those games.
1 second on the play clock. They just get it off. Little receiver screen complete. And the ball got stripped, got peeled loose. The Sooners got it. Justin Broyles took it away from McBride, and the Sooners have possession. Wow. He just peeled that ball from him, stripped him clean.
You want to talk about taking the air out of the balloon? Justin Broyles, here's Stephen McBride. He's running just one too many spin moves, right? They get the ball out of there. Honestly, whew, who was that? Looked like Key Lawrence is the one who might have got that ball right there with the punch. Man, he hit that ball like Mike Tyson trying to get it out of there. They get the ball back. Momentum swing, momentum swing. Uncle Mojo is with Oklahoma, and they can really maybe put this game even further out of reach. They can go and get some points here on offense.
Well, Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator, should be happy with that play by his defense. They get the ball back, 1st and 10 from the 47. Williams hands it off to Brooks. Brooks keeps those legs moving, picks up about 8 on the play. But he's 2nd down and 2.
Man, Key Lawrence, he got the keys, right?
How about that?
That was exactly what the doctor ordered for Oklahoma. You see the look on his face. He's like, come on, man. What we doing out here? He's making plays. He punched that ball like he really meant that one.
Took his cornbread. 2nd and 2. Brooks in the backfield. Comes across the formation and going to be brought down for a loss of 1 on the play. So 3rd down and about a long 3 coming up. Jeremy Robinson right there in on the stop. And the Jayhawks defense needs to get off the field here.
It's a tall task, a big ask of this defense. As we showed you the numbers earlier, they're ranked in the bottom in a lot of areas. But today they have played well. But in the second half, they haven't stopped the Sooners yet. They need to right here if they want to have a chance.
Let's see who the go-to is for the Sooners in this critical spot. Williams kept it, pulled it out, and fires incomplete. Good coverage and well defended, and good pressure from Johnson, Kyron Johnson. Right there, number 15, makes it 4th down.
You talked about Kyron Johnson, and in these moments, your best players have to show up. But look at these guys out here. They are blanketed in coverage. Jeremiah Hall, nobody's getting it to him. And Caleb Williams tried to extend the play as much as he could with his legs like he has, and here they are on 4th down, going for it.
Brooks in the backfield. And the play clock's going to run out. Maybe just trying to draw him offside, or they got a timeout first. Oklahoma takes timeout to think it over. We'll be back on the other side of this.
ESPN College Football is presented by Marathon, driven forward, and in part by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Lawrence, Kansas was the childhood home of poet, author, activist Langston Hughes. His first novel is thought to be inspired by his life right here in Lawrence, Kansas. He has an appropriate quote applicable to this game when he says, "What happens to a dream deferred? Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly." So far this afternoon, the Jayhawks have taken flight. But right now, circling, waiting. 4th and 3. Trying to have this upset come to fruition. Williams keeps it on the quarterback counter. Gets the first down, still on his feet. The Magic Man pulls out the magic wand. Touchdown, Sooners.
Oh, he's a runner. He's a track star. Look at him out there going, breaking tackles. Very reminiscent of his 4th and 1 touchdown run for 66 yards against the Texas Longhorns. But right here, look, just confidence on his face. Arm tackles, man, you gotta be kidding me. He runs through there, rumbling, bumbling, touchdown. He says, "I am here, Superman." That's what they call me.
Wow, Caleb Williams puts a silencer on the crowd here in Lawrence, Kansas. With another cardiac comeback again. It's just part of his lore right now.
Did you see his, look at his do-rag. It's flying. That's a cape, people. That's a cape. That's Superman right there.
Yeah, he hit the button and turned it into a cape.
That's his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He said, I told you I had you, fam. Let's go. Sooners in the lead.
Caleb Williams has been doing, going back to his days in college, comebacks. This is ESPN's College Football presented by Marathon from Lawrence, Kansas. Time winding down on what looked like a magical afternoon for the Jayhawks. But a turnover leading to a Caleb Williams sprint for a touchdown. And the Sooners outscoring the Jayhawks 28-7 here so far in the second half. Time now for today's Weekend Wake Up, brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast. As we look at menu of games, Oregon UCLA coming up a little bit later.
That Clemson Pitt game. Woo, that's going to be an interesting one there in the ACC.
Yeah.
DJ Uiagalelei and Kenny Pickett really having a surging up the list of the Heisman and draft boards since the way he's playing this year.
Pass complete to the 40-yard line and then some. Bean hits Lassiter. Lassiter tiptoes out of bounds. 7:45 to go, down 11. They got to move with a little bit of tempo. They can't stick to the original script now, right, Robert?
No.
No more running down the play clock.
They can't run the play clock down anymore, but they're sending the play in, going to the huddle, but they're going to move a little bit faster here, and they're going to have to attack this secondary, which they felt like was the weakness of this defense, as you saw right there, Joshua Eden chasing Kwame Lassiter.
Who picked up 28 yards on that last play, 7:20 to go. Well, the play clock below 10.
Don't like that.
And throws a strike complete for the first down. That's Grimm. Grimm had a nice pass, catch, and run a little bit earlier. Another first down with a little over 7 minutes to go. I'm surprised, Robert, that he took so long in between plays.
I am a little surprised, but I'm very impressed with the route that Luke Grimm just ran. He turned the defender all the way around on that slant. He put some stank on that thing.
Okay. Baya. 11-yard gain on that last play. Little bunch formation to the left. They're going to run it, though. That's Devin Neal. Well, Top Rank Boxing tonight from Atlanta. Big-time card, Robert. You're a big boxing guy. What do you make of these matches? Muhammad Ali's grandson, Nico, returning to the ring after winning his professional debut in August. Main card starts 10:30 Eastern on ESPN. Deportes, the app, one tap.
We know
them start at 7:30 Eastern.
We know that fight is all about Shakur Stevenson, the young god out there, man, doing his thing.
Lassiter with another good pass, catch, and run inside the 15. Hey, they're moving down the field with brevity here. 19-yard gain. Bean, touchdown, Grimm. Hold on. They're going to go for 2 here, probably.
Kansas said, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Man. They're not done yet. Jason Bean with a strike into the end zone.
That Sooner defense didn't offer much resistance.
No, they didn't. Bean saw it, delivered right down the middle. Oh, my Lord, Luke Grimm.
Justin Boyles was the closest defender, about 7 yards away from him.
I don't even know if you can go that close.
Gonna go for 2, as I said. Devin Neal in the backfield. They can make it a field goal game here. They run the reverse. Lassiter hesitated, and he's not going to get in. The Sooners will stop him cold, and it's a 5-point game, not a field goal game.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like that call necessarily. They go with the reverse, but hey, they're pulling all the tricks out the bag. It didn't work out. Their defense got to step up for them.
Saturday Night Football matchup, Big Ten. Stroud, Henderson, number 5 Ohio State against Indiana, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC, the ESPN app, one tap. What about the strategy here, Robert? Onside kick, or do you kick it deep? Which would you
I would kick it deep. Trust my defense. They've been playing well the entire game to get a stop and get the ball back to your offense.
Defense done a nice job today for the Jayhawks, holding Oklahoma to just 28 points. Every Kansas scoring drive, one we've just seen, has been 10 or more plays and using over 6 minutes on the clock. They kick it deep, and it will roll into the end zone. They were racing to try and recover that thing. They weren't that far off.
Hey, man, he almost got that to stop on the one.
Yeah.
That would have been impressive.
Let's take a look at today's more driven moment, brought to you by Goodyear. This was the big play, the strip, the punch, ball comes out, recovered by the Sooners defensively. And then several plays later, Caleb Williams with the full smoke for the Jayhawks.
He definitely said I run through arm tackles on that run.
Lincoln Riley was talking earlier in the week about being surprised by the thickness and strength of his lower body, his ability to run as well as he does. And he demonstrated it there as he does here. Williams gliding and hit, stays in bounds wisely. Picks up about 13 on the play, 1st and 10 with 5:45 to go.
You know, you talk about Lincoln Riley and talking about just the way that Caleb Williams is built. You know, I never heard somebody say that thick legs was a bad thing.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Especially when you're running the ball, running back, quarterback position allows you to be more elusive, strong out there on the field.
Hands it off this time to Kennedy Brooks. And Brooks picks up about 6 yards on the play, 5:17 to go. Oklahoma looking to go 8-0 for the first time since 2004. This is how it started in 2019 for Spencer Rattler, and this is how it's going right now for Caleb Williams, top recruit last year. Didn't get a chance to really have his coach, Lincoln Riley, come see him because of COVID, but he visited Norman and was convinced that this was the place for him, despite the fact that Spencer Rattler was already QB1 and a highly acclaimed quarterback, #1.
Right.
We thought we were going to see Spencer Rattler today, right? Honestly, right?
I think a lot of people thought they were going to see Spencer Rattler today, but Kansas had other plans. And let's not get it twisted. It's 3rd and 1 here. You still got 4 minutes left in this ball game. Kansas is not out of it yet. Oklahoma has to make sure they finish. They have been great finishers this year. They got to continue that today.
Brooks will have the opportunity. Stopped up. The intransigence of the Jayhawk defense coming up huge here. It sets up 4th and short.
Ruling on the field as the runner was short of the line to gain, 4th down.
Boy, that tells you that the Jayhawks have not let go of the rope. And when the coaching staff talks about being able to point to stuff besides the final score in building culture and a winning environment, they got a clip right there.
Yes, they did, and they have been relentless for 60 minutes. They said, hey, when something doesn't work, don't panic. Just keep trying, and that's exactly what they're doing. You got to commend them for that.
3rd and 1. Brooks this time spins off one. They get stopped. No, Williams took it out of his arms magically. What a play, leaving the Jayhawks shocked in his wake.
How did Caleb Williams do that?
Unbelievable. You talk about a timely, intelligent play. Caleb Williams says, I'll take that, thank you.
He says, hey, give me that right there. He takes it from him to get the 1st down on 4th and 1. Oh, my Lord, that is unbelievable.
So is that not a forward play? I've got to see that again. And wondering, are they going to look at this?
Previous play of a 1st down is under further review.
Yes. Or was his forward momentum stopped?
You could say it's his forward momentum, but it's almost like a forward handoff here, right? He's taking the ball from him, and it's not a fumble. It's not like he fumbled that away. So would you consider that as like a forward lateral?
Going to take a minute to unpack this and absorb what happened. Brooks was stopped.
Yeah, and he's going backwards. So maybe because he's going backwards
right here,
and Caleb Williams takes the ball from him going forward. No, man, that is I would love to be in that referee's ear right now, listening to what they're talking about.
Because forward progress begins when he's stopped.
Yeah,
right?
It has. I mean,
because he was definitely going backwards.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I think that makes the most sense is that it's an illegal forward pass.
Yes.
That's the only thing I can think of, because he took it away from him, and it wasn't a fumble. And even if it was a fumble on 4th down, you wouldn't be able to fumble it forward and move the ball forward anyway.
Didn't hear a discernible whistle either.
That's very true.
So when do they whistle it dead? Let's have one more look and listen. See, to me, that looks like he was stopped, and the play should have been blown dead. And in real time, that's what it looks like.
And the play wasn't blown dead, so I don't know if he's actually in there looking to see if his forward progress was stopped. I wonder if he's in there looking to see what the down and distance was, where the ball should be.
Time on the clock.
Time on the clock. You see it right here. Boom, he gets hit. Rich Miller gives him that work, pushes him back. Caleb Williams says, sir, I got it. Give it to me. It's an interesting call here.
Yeah, I have an inkling it's going to be Kansas football. I mean, looking at that again in real speed and seeing when he took the football from him. And if Kansas does get the ball, they're in great field position with plenty of time to go.
Yeah.
They're still trying to adjudicate this.
Look at my man with The adjectives.
This has been a minute here.
This has been a minute. You dropping all kind of gems on them, man. I love it.
This is exciting stuff. Here's the call.
After reviewing the play, there was a legal forward handoff behind the line of scrimmage. Therefore, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Oklahoma.
Wow. Okay, there it is.
Look at that. Because it happened behind the line of scrimmage, it was illegal. It was a legal one. Man,
Caleb Williams with the presence of mind, the intelligence to grasp the ball, a precocious true freshman, takes the ball from his teammate Brooks there and says, let me get the first down.
The crazy thing is Rich Miller driving him back behind the line of scrimmage actually helped the play.
He wasn't thinking that at the time. Here's Brooks weaving in traffic, brought down, gain of about 1 on the play. Timeout called by the Jayhawks. And that's going to be one that sticks in their craw for a minute. 2nd and 9.
Kansas has called their first charge timeout.
That's going to be their first timeout of the half, 2 remaining. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Next Saturday, the Cyclones and Mountaineers square off in football at 2 Eastern, 1 Central. And on Halloween, the Big 12 Women's Soccer Championship starts in Round Rock, Texas. The quarterfinals begin at 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Central. If you're a Big 12 fan, you got to have it. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12 now. Caleb Williams with the play of the game again. The touchdown run, and then stripping the ball from his teammate on a 4th down conversion.
It's almost as like every week he's out there playing, he's like, oh, y'all thought y'all saw, you thought you saw the best of me. Wait till I show you something right now. Wow. Maybe he hasn't been the best in the passing game, right? Maybe he hasn't been as explosive in the running game as we might have expected, even though he did have a big run. But he's making plays to help them win games no matter what the outcome.
You can see why his teammates naturally gravitate towards him. Great leader by example again here around the edge and tiptoes out of bounds. Under 3 minutes to go. This is the big play a moment ago. Brooks held up. Williams takes it from him and runs for the first down.
And you watch him here off the zone read. He's just faster than everybody else. Yeah. The way he's built, you wouldn't think that, oh, this guy's fast, but he is a strong runner. He's got sweet feet. He wanted to stay in bounds there, but the clock is still running and he's fine. I think maybe he thinks he's already in the NFL where they stop the clock when you run out of bounds.
Right. That might be his ultimate stopping point. 15 to 20 passing, doing it with his legs again here on 1st and 10. And this time wisely stays in bounds. Kansas with 2 timeouts remaining. Coach Leipold thinking about perhaps burning another one at some point soon. And there it is. We talked a little bit earlier about coach and building the new culture. And in our meeting with Coach Leipold, I said, how do you measure culture change? How do you measure what you would define as wins? He said, you know, it's hitting all our goals in the weight room, body weight goals, classroom goals, handling your business, being a pro in your approach every day, and being a great teammate. I think they could probably check a lot of those boxes today, regardless of the numbers.
He talked about wanting to see success on the field. So you look at them today, right? They normally give up 43 points, only 28. Normally over 480 yards, only 380 today. Normally 250 passing yards, only 178. That is progress. He wants them to believe in their process. He wants them to have pride in playing for Kansas. I remember when we were at Baylor University and we wanted to turn that program around. They used to make us wear T-shirts that said, I play for Baylor football, to instill pride in us for wearing those colors. And he is doing that here at Kansas for sure.
Brooks breaks through the initial wave and pulled down at about the 11-yard line. 2:10 to go. Brooks with some pretty good numbers today. Picked up 7 on that game. Remember, he had consecutive 1,000-yard-plus rushing seasons prior to sitting out last year with the COVID exemption. Today, has run 21 times for 75 yards and a touchdown. Williams hands it off to Brooks again. Just tiptoeing and dancing between the tackles, brought down for a gain of about 2 on the play, and Kansas going to be forced to burn their final timeout pretty soon here. There it is. Well, when you want to look at models for success and blueprints for success with all of the history attached, Allen Fieldhouse, close by on campus here in Lawrence. And Bill Self, the head coach there, has another solid squad moving forward. There's a look at the preseason rankings. Gonzaga at number 1, UCLA, Kansas at number 3.
What do you think?
Baylor number 8, Robert.
I was going to say, what do you think about the reigning national champs being number 8 in the preseason poll?
Hey, and I want to take a moment too right now to declare restoration to full health over our dear friend Dick Vitale, who's undergoing chemotherapy treatments for cancer. Dick is a beloved friend and colleague, and we wish him nothing but the best, and pray for God to put hands on him.
You know, Dickie V he's always fighting for everybody else, and just want him to know that we're fighting for him right now. We love you, brother.
Brooks down to the 4. Under a minute and a half to go. Kansas out of timeouts. The plan was perfect for the Jayhawks. And you think about the turnovers that ultimately did them in, Robert. The punch strip by Oklahoma, the recovery that led to the Caleb Williams touchdown run, and then another turnover a moment ago, which kind of sealed the deal for Oklahoma, who was lifeless and listless and impotent in that first half, and woke up in the third quarter, scored on the opening drive, and changed the tenor of this football game. Brooks. Why not? One more touchdown. And the Sooners with a little icing. Doing a little bit of straightening right now. Mom and Dad there, fans have made the trip from Norman, Oklahoma. Jayhawk fans probably knew what was going to hit them at some point, and it happened. Second rushing touchdown for Brooks today.
Did you see
Bean played a good football game.
Bean did play a good football game, and I'm saying, did you just see the way Kennedy Brooks just ran through that hole? He baptized that the defender sitting there at the goal line as he went into the end zone.
Yeah.
Playing with a physicality that you haven't really seen from them all throughout the game. But at the end of the day, their talent helped them win this game.
Right.
They found a way, just like they have all year. Look, Tulane, Nebraska, West Virginia, Kansas State, and we all know about the Red River Showdown and how they came back against Texas with that man right there. That's a bad man right there, right?
Yep.
They call him Superman. I look at his hair. We had his hair on one of the graphics, and I could only think, man, it probably smells like Shea Moisture Jamaican black castor oil or something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
This guy is out here.
Don't give away the secrets.
Hey.
Don't give away the secrets, though.
If you know, you know. All right? He has been phenomenal. He's just been a spark plug for this offense and this entire team. But what they need to do is start that spark earlier in games so they don't find themselves in situations like this. But I don't want to take anything away from Kansas and the way that they have played today.
Caleb Williams, a very self-aware young man. I'll tell you this story about where he went to school, Gonzaga High School in the D.C. area. Back in 1836, slaves in the local area helped work and build that school. Those slaves subsequently sold to owners in the state of Louisiana. On Caleb Williams' trip to LSU, he went and visited the gravesite of those said slaves that helped build his school in Washington, D.C. And he brought home some of the dirt from the gravesite and gave it to his high school coach and teacher. A young man who's very aware of his culture and of history and where he fits in all of it. Caleb Williams, it's his football team.
It's his football team.
I don't think there's any doubt about that now. Again, 15 of 20 passing. And he's going to run out the clock here. Jason Bean runs out of bounds. On the flip side of things, Spencer Rattler will wait. We expected him to play today because, as I said earlier, Oklahoma came in a prohibitive favorite. I think it was about 6 touchdowns almost.
Yes.
And Spencer Rattler, we were thinking we'd see him, but not the case. This game a lot more competitive than we thought. So he will wait. And Lincoln Riley has been effusive in his praise of Spencer Rattler while he's QB number 2, saying that, hey, you know what? He's had 2 great weeks of practice, and he would play well if he was in there too.
Yeah, I think the way, I can't praise Lincoln Riley enough for the way he has handled this situation, right? It's unfortunate. It's awkward. It's every superlative you can imagine for Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams. But when you have a head coach who supports his players, understands the delicacy with which you need to handle this type of quarterback situation when you have 2 high-profile guys, it makes it a little bit easier. And I think it just speaks volumes about the type of coach and person that Lincoln Riley is, that he is going out of his way not only to praise Spencer Rattler, but also to temper expectations for Caleb Williams. Right. Everybody wants to talk about his arm and his legs and everything that he's doing, and he's putting it on tape. It looks incredible. But Lincoln Riley is making sure he keeps everything in perspective.
Well, that'll probably do it with that last play. Jason Bean had a good day, nothing to be ashamed of with the way he performed today. A transfer from North Texas, 16 of 22, touchdown, 217 yards. Did some great things running the football as well, just not quite enough.
And listen, in the loss, Jason Bean had a bounce back game. Throwing the ball, running the ball. He is a guy that they can lean on for the rest of the year as they continue to build out their program and get the results on the field.
This will be the final play. He'll air it out. And appropriately ends the game with a completion to Lawrence Arnold. But this one's over. Caleb Williams leads Oklahoma from a halftime deficit to a 35-23 victory. They improved to 8-0 for the first time since 2004. Whether it's a look of confidence, a smile, or not, he gets it done in the end. Let's go downstairs to Quinn.
Coach, congratulations. The guys found a way again. What was most responsible for the comeback?
We played a little bit better in the second half. Didn't have as many penalties. Got a little bit of momentum there with the team. You know, we're still working through it. You know, we haven't found a way to play as consistent as we need to. We found ways to win games, which is great, but we know our best ball's got to come here pretty quick.
How do you describe the play of your quarterback, Caleb Williams?
A little unsettled in the first half. Didn't play great the first half. Was much better in the second half.
Have you ever seen a play like he made in that 4th down conversion at the end, where he took the ball from a teammate? I mean, I've been watching football a long time, Coach. I've never seen anything like that.
Play. Got some smart guys that know when it's those. You know, we talk about those situations, and really, you kind of got nothing to lose when something like that happens. So, you know, really smart player, and Kennedy Brooks making a smart play. Caleb right there. I mean, he made big plays when we needed it.
Congratulations, Coach.
Final thoughts, Robert?
Yeah, you know, Langston Hughes, as you said, he's from this area.
Right.
He said, I've discovered in life that there are ways of getting almost anywhere you want to go if you really want to go. Oklahoma found a way to win. Kansas got the results they were looking for from the merits of their works. But it wasn't their day today, and you just love watching this Oklahoma team.
Appropriate words from Robert Griffin via Langston Hughes. Stay tuned. College Football Scoreboard followed by Clemson Pitt. For Quinn Kesenick, Robert Griffin III, and our entire gang, I'm Mark Jones. Let's check